Hey, this is Miss. I'm excited to show you what we're going to do tonight because I think it is so cute. This is probably one of my favorite prints because I love vintage style, but this is what we're going to be working with tonight, and the tags are amazing. So we are going to do a regular wood block, but we're going to do something really different and fun with the other prints. So we're going to be working on both of them tonight. So the other one is this, it's in a frame, and I will tell you all the details, and I have a project sheet for you with all the information as well. The project sheet has all the links and all the info, supply list and everything. So this one, we are doing a really nice primitive bow with it, and I have a drilled hole right here, and we're going to put something really cute there. So come on in, buzz on in, and we will get started, and I will show you what we're doing. So I will show you this closer. This one says Chester's Vegetable Garden. My grandfather's name was Chester, so I just thought that was fun. Chester's Vegetable Garden, open from dusk to dawn, or dawn to dusk, sorry, dusk to dawn. Open from dawn to dusk. And then these tags are really, really cute, and we're going to do something fun with them. And then this guy over here doesn't have any wording, but he's just nice and vintage with all his carrots. So I already have him on a wood block, and he is ready to go. But we're going to add some stenciled things to him. And if you are new and you don't know how I apply the prints to the board, you can go back to Monday night's video, and I showed how to do this one. So these were the print from earlier in the week, and they're just both so cute. So they're really fun, bright and cheery, and just very springy. But we're kind of going clear to the other side and doing a vintage look. So these frames are from Michael's, and they're 99 cents. I had a 30 off coupon, so of course that made them 69 cents. So that's all I paid for them, but they're really nice. Like, I didn't have to sand them or anything. They come with a little stick that goes in the back that you just stick in there, and then that way it stands up just perfect. So really neat. So they have even some different shapes. I would guess Hobby Lobby has them too. I don't know. I got them at Michael's. Very affordable and just really nice. But I linked them on the project sheet in my link tree. You can also use like a vintage frame or something like that if you can find it. But I crackled it, and we're gonna do that tonight. And I just love how it looks. So we're gonna work on that. So I already pre-painted it, and I have it all black. So I just base painted it black, and then on top of the black, after that dried, I added crackle medium. Now, I linked the one I use. It's a bigger bottle than this, but this is my favorite crackle medium. It's the one I have the best success with, like the easiest. I feel like I've worked with a bunch of them and over the years, and that is the one that I go back to every time. I just think it is so much easier. Some of them are really fussy, and some of them, I mean, even some really expensive ones, even like as much as I like Tim Ranger Distress stuff, I don't like their just regular crackle. I like their paste, but I don't like their regular. But I went ahead and after I base painted it black, and then I put the crackle medium on top. So we're going to apply the oyster beige color on top of that, and we're going to watch it crackle. So I try to get those steps done so you can see that. But that's what that frame looks like. Chester's Vegetable Garden, I just added to a wood block. So this is a 2x6. You can also do it like this. You could do a 1x6 and just do you know, the regular wood. That is totally up to you. So so that's what we're going to work on. So we're going to work on the back and the sides of this one, and I love the bow for this. So it's a very vintage looking bow, and it is, I think it's so pretty. So once you add that to it's going to go on the top of this print. but that really brings it together, and the tag is really going to bring it together. So your sheet looks like this when you go to Linktree. You can print this out, but before you print it out, if it's on your phone screen or your computer screen, anything that's underlined is clickable, and that will just help you be able to see, details about something. You don't necessarily have to buy it from there, but so like the beading tools from Amazon, it's like $4 and something. Probably one of my most used tools beside my dotting tool. I've linked the frame on there. It's just, you can see it on Michael's website, but it'll just give you an idea what it looks like. You can screenshot it and go to the store to look for it. I have the stencils I'm going to use, and on, like the drill bits and stuff like that. This is the paint colors, the crackle medium, and that's a big bottle I linked on Amazon, but you can also find it in stores, I'm sure, but that just gives you an idea of what it looks like. So I hope that is helpful to you. So the tags on this, we are going to make double-sided. So one's plain and one's written on, and we're going to glue those together to make a thicker tag. Okay, so this is what the tag looks like, and I just love it. So this is what we're going to do. Well, I'll show you that in a minute, but this is my tag that I did. So it's very vintage. I think I love how it looks. I already have the beads ready to go, so I can show you how to do those. But aren't they great? Like, they really have some good crackle on them. So overall, I really had fun doing this project. I really had fun making the bow. It's just really, really fun. So on this one, you can add a bow at the top, or you can also kind of add it at the bottom. So we'll play with that in a few minutes, but let's get started on the detail. So I hope that you love it as much as I do, because I really, really like it. So what we're going to start with, so this can be drying, is we're going to go ahead and use Oyster Beige. And so this is Oyster Beige. Of course, you can use any kind of tan, or you could use buttermilk or whatever. But I'm going to try not to, I'm going to try not to do it, but it's hard not to. Kind of just to not go back. I'm not going to do this back over it. I'm just going to kind of try not to go back over my brush strokes a bunch, because it can just affect the way it crackles. So I'm just going to take it straight down. And I don't care if it's a little bit like not totally blended, because I want it to look very rustic. So that was probably too much paint. Whoops. Got a piece of sisal there in my... So yeah, I got too much paint on that. I did not mean to do that. But as much as I love to use my heat gun, I always restrict myself from doing that when I'm using crackle, because I always feel like it just crackles way better when you let it dry naturally, but it will start crackling immediately. This kind does anyway. So I left a little bit right there, so I'm going to have to go back and touch that up. And I'm going to have to go over that, even though I don't want to. So, but overall, you want like it to have that variation and crackle, but it'll start, you can see the cracks already coming in it. I love crackle. It looks really good. So, I got it kind of thick right there, but by the time we add our shading around the edges and all that, and we can even spatter it. So, but I love it. It's just so fun to watch it come to life. So I'm going to hit these edges real quick, and they don't have to be solid either, because you kind of want some of that black showing through. So who in the hive tonight likes vintage? Are you a vintage girl, or do you just prefer more brighter things and you're not really into vintage stuff? I always have been drawn to it. I just really like it. So it was, I I knew I wanted to design some vintage bunnies, and I have some other ones too, but they have a lot more color to them, but yet they have a vintage feel to them. But anyway, but I wanted to have this ready to go so you could see it crackle. And we'll go next to the block and work on it and let this sit and kind of finish drying. And as it dries, it will crackle. So, but it is very fun to do. It can be either very fun or very frustrating, and I know everyone's different. Some people like to use school glue and have great success with it, and I have used it. And like everyone, it's just everyone has their own favorite brands. This is just the one that I think, for me, is easiest to use. So anyway, I love the good crackle right there. And it's got really good crackle going down through there. So we will set it aside and come back to that and let that dry. So we're going to go to the print, or the block. And so on this print, I'll show you, like I did it Monday night. You've seen me do it umpteen times if you're a regular. So I used the gathered twig. And I don't think I put that on the supply sheet. You can get the little ones of these on my website. They're like this size. I use gathered twig a lot, and it's really fun to use and to go around the edges. So I took gathered twig and I went all around the edges of that. That's what I did. And then I took a dry brush. So just take one of our dry brushes that we use all the time, and we're going to take a little bit of black paint. We're going to take it and just tip the edges, and we're just going to do it with, like I said, the dry brush to kind of give it a little bit of a black look. So I just wanted to show you how I did that. I don't have to do it all, but so I just took it same way we always do, just kind of wipe it off. And it just picks up on the edge, and it looks really nice on that black block. And I always like to go in on the corners. You can see how I usually come up a little higher on the corners and kind of get a little more color there. So you can go back and add as much as you want, but it just looks really nice if you can see that black on there. So it just looks nice when you do that on the black board. So that's what I did on that. So turn that aside and put this in there. Okay, so the stencils I decided to use for this one, I thought I would just use a random dot on the back. I think polka dots can be fun, and they definitely, I don't know, I kind of like it with vintage. And I'm going to use Oyster Beige again with a 3/8 inch stencil brush. So we're going to do this real quick and kind of snazzy this up. So I'm just loading paint and then offloading it. Let me look over here. Okay, so let's get some polka dots on the back here real quick. Vintages can be really fun. So this is a great stencil. I've used it last year. I think we've used it different times. So a lot of you may already have it or probably have it. So it's kind of like a random dot. It is like when you pull it up, it will be letter A, and it's the extra, extra small. But I put that on your supply sheet, so you can look at it if you want. It's a great stencil to have all year long. Like it is polka dots are just fun. They just add a lot to a project, and they can be really fun. So that's what I decided to do on the back of this. All right, before I move it, I'm gonna kind of hit them again real quick, just to make them a little darker. I'm trying to go really fast. I feel like this is how my days go. It's like flying around. I was getting ready to go live. I had everything ready. You guys probably say, you always say that. And I did. I worked on the project sheet yesterday, and I just had to add a few things to it. And I went in to add stuff to it real quick after supper so I could get up here. And it would not download, so I couldn't update it in Linktree. And I don't know why. I tried and tried and tried. Clear back out, resaved it, re-downloaded it. I did all this stuff. Finally, I just shut it down and went back in, and it worked that time. It was like crazy. It ran me really behind. Okay, so now we're just gonna drop it down and kind of go again. So. I love to stencil on the back of the blocks and on the sides. And I also like to do the sides sometimes of the 1-inch wood. That's fun too. Just adds a little bit of fun to it. And this looks nice. Almost done. Almost got him. I think I moved my stencil. I hope that isn't a disaster when I... Okay. So that is our polka dots, which look really good. So I want to stay on the vintage side. So I want to add some brown shading in there. But I don't want to take a floater brush and do all that. Like, that would take a while, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to take some espresso, and we're going to reline back up our stencil. So I'm going to use the espresso, and I'm going to put it on the brush. This is a 1/4 inch, and I'm relining this back up. And then I usually shade to my my right hand side and lighter on my left, but on this I'm going to kind of do the opposite. So I'm going to go to the left side of all the circles, and I'm just going to kind of, to make sure I have enough paint off of this, just kind of give it a swish in that upper left corner. It's just, sometimes it's easy to get some shading in with the stencil on it. I don't know. That's kind of cheat shading, maybe. Well, I don't know if it's cheating. It's just, what would you call that? Using the resources you have. I don't know. So just go back and forth over that. And I always think it makes the polka dots look so nice. I just think it looks nice like that. So we're just going to continue down through there and just swipe across. See if I got them all. I think I did. Okay, so now I'm going to pick it up, come back down here, line them back up, and then just start again. I mean, you can just go as quick as you want. Okay, so then this is the look you get. So can you see that, like, it's shaded? I hope you can see that on camera, because it really makes a big difference. And then when we spatter it, it will look nice. So on the sides, I decided to use just like a farmhouse stripe. So I'm going to go back to my oyster beige, and this stencil I linked as well, and we're just going to throw that down. I thought the farmhouse stripe would be really fun. Goofy glasses time again. So I'm just going to try my best to center it, and hope for the best. It's funny, it's like the edges curve, you know, a little bit on the 2-inch wood, the 2x wood. I was trying to say the 2x wood. So we're just going back into the oyster, and I'll have to be careful because I'm kind of holding it funny. I'm just going to kind of try to zip down through here. I'll come back, I think, and do that little line. And just kind of move your fingers up and down it as you go. Okay, and I'm not doing it super solid because, again, I want it to look, you know, kind of vintage. So I'm not worried about it being like a solid line. And I can even run some sandpaper over it if I feel like it looks too solid. But I'm trying not to. I can clean it up. The nice thing about black is if you do make a mistake, you can clean it up. Black's easy to clean up around. So let's see. Got that going. I like it. Hopefully I get it straight. All right. So we're kind of like doing two projects tonight, but I tried to have it prepped enough that it wouldn't take forever, but I am trying to hurry. All right. Let me get my liner. And where I join those together, I don't think that's a liner. Yeah, it is. I'm going to kind of, well, I said I was, but I didn't. I was going to try to smooth out that line between the two so it doesn't, so it looks seamless, is what I was trying to do. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's done. Now, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to cheat shade, because why not? Okay. This is a good border. It's called, I think it's Stripes. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's striped. But it has like this farmhouse stripe, this type of farmhouse stripe, this stripe, and then like a checkerboarding. So it's a good one to have. And you can use it all around borders of stuff, but it's pretty fun. So we're going to put this back on, and we're going to do the same thing. So since I shaded on the left side, on the back, I'm going to do that again just to stay consistent, I guess. But actually, you can kind of, I'm going to do it at the, well, I'm not even at the top. I'm going to do it at the top a little heavier, kind of bring it down, and then kind of just go down the side a little bit. And then move it, and then do the same. And then when I get to the bottom, I'm going to make it heavier. So it just gives it a little bit of a grunge look. Then I'm going to, so then it ends up matching more to the side in the back. So that is how we're going to do him. And I'm going to take the sanding, my coarse sanding sponge, and just hit the edges a little bit. And I won't do the other side, so you don't have to watch me do that, but do it twice. But you can run this is like a really coarse sanding sponge. I should have linked these because I really, really like these. I've had some different kinds, and I like these. They'll rough it up pretty quickly. But like, I definitely, oh, I lost my line there. Oh no, I didn't. I thought I sanded my line, but that's just, never mind. That's where I was sanding. Okay, so then on the front side, I'm going to do the same. I want him to look kind of grungy. You could actually sand it before, but I just waited till after. Yeah, but these are great. Like, you know how rough that those 2x4s or 2x6s can be, and it does a good job of just kind of taking it right down. So you can use your gathered twig or whatever, or you can just add a little bit of stain on a little bit of paint, baby wipe stain too. But I can also just zip this little brush right around there, and it kind of picks up that edge and makes it look vintage, which we like. So I'll hold it up and show it to you in a minute. So you would just continue, on the back side as well. So I'll just do this one side and then show you what it looks like. So this stuff is fun. This is really fun. So that's how your back ends up looking, and you can see how that sanding and then some of that distressing, then it matches the front. So that's really fun. So to him, to add to him, you can spatter the back of this, and we can, if you want to make your board longer, so this is a 2x6, so it is 8 inches long. If you want to do it to where your bow is more at the top, like this one, you just want it at the top like that one, or this one, then just make it a little longer, like make it 9 or 10 inches longer, and then pull your print closer to the bottom. Or if you want to put your bow on top, you can put it on top. But it looks really pretty when you get all that together. So I love this bow. Every time I pick it up, I'm like, I love that bow. So those are really good stencils to use all year long. They are really, really fun to use. So if you don't have those are good to add to your stencil wish list. That was hard to say. So, okay, so that is that guy. And there's 2 tags that you can pick from. You can pick either one you want. I like the Pick Fresh Daily with the garden one, but you can use the carrots 25 cents per pound too. You can use either tag with either one, but I like the Pick Fresh with that one. So how I did that is I love the idea of the tags. I was glad I thought of that and started doing it. It's been fun. So I just reverse this, and so you have a blank and a regular. Now you don't have to double them up, but for how I'm going to use it on the picture frame, I wanted it to be double-sided. So that's why I did it. And I like the fact that it's a little bit thicker as well. So you're just trimming that right down. So I'm just going to put the glue stick down that and fold it over and match those ends. And then pinch it. And then we'll trim it from there. Okay. So just seal it down really good. And then I'm going to finish trimming it down while it's all glued together, like more of the rounded corners and stuff, just so it all matches. So it makes a really, really cute tag. Okay, so then I'm going to take my hole punch, and I'm just going to punch a hole in it. This is a kind of a smaller one, so I'm going to punch a little bit beside of it just to make it bigger. So we're going to use our gathered twig again. And these brushes are from Hobby Lobby. And I also have them linked. You can get a bigger set from Amazon that I have linked on the printable. There's just a general printable project sheet that just has all kinds of helpful information on it, and it's in my link tree if you are newer and you need some help with that. It is definitely a good resource sheet. So again, I'm just going around these edges, but the back of the tag just looks really good too. And then I'll show you how we're going to do that tag to make it look really cute. And find my black because we're going to do that again. So I'm just, once again, I'm just going to hit those edges with black, just like I showed you on the block print. Again, it's optional. If you don't, if you don't really like that, then just skip it. I just think it blends really well. It makes everything blend good. And I like to get that raw edge coated too. So that's what our tag ends up looking like. So this was my idea. This also, you can not do this if you just want it to look totally black and white. Well, it's not black and white, but cream and white. You don't have to do this, but this is what I did, and I thought it was really fun. So we're going to take cinnamon stick and lush green and a little bit of espresso again. So you just need a dot. You can even just use out of the lid, actually, because we're just going to use the liner and some water. So I'm going to put some water out on my palette. Just put some little puddles of water. And I'm going to go into the lid of that cinnamon stick. And make sure you're not getting water dripping down your barrel, because you don't want that to drip on your face. Just go in one of your drops of water and just swirl it around. Don't rub your bristles, just swirl it real lightly. You don't want to mess up your bristles. Until it's just a very, very weak solution. And then we're going to paint that carrot. So I'm going to try to lay it on this. I don't know if that will help you be able to see it better. I'll try to do it. So then I'm just going to lightly touch. I'm barely touching those areas. And again, you don't want excess water on it like that it's going to drip off, because you don't want it bleeding out on your thing. So it's like so simple. You're just touching it. And it's like the lightest little muted orange look. So I wanted to add just a tad of color, like this faded tad of color, but I did not want it to be flat out colored, I guess what you'd say. So I'm taking the green, the lush green, and I'm going to go into another dot of water and do the same thing. So I'm just getting a real weak solution of that. And then pull your brush back out. So I'm kind of twisting it and make sure that I don't have anything running off. And now I'm just going to do the leaves. So you're trying to just touching it down, because I printed these on the canvas side, not the coated side, because I wanted them to look very vintage and I did not want to use the coated side. So that's how it looks. But now I'm going to add a little bit of espresso, and that kind of finishes it off. Just that little bit will really finish it off. I keep trying to tilt my tray so you can see, and then I lose my water. So just dot that in there and then just swirl it around. And kind of come out. And now I'm going to go right at the bottom of that and darken it just a little bit. Just right along the bottom of that carrot. Right to the tip. And just that, I thought the little bit of darkness really made it look, it just, I don't know, it just finished it for me. It just really pulled it together. And then I'm doing the same on the leaves, just that lower side of the leaf. And so you end up adding this little bit of color, but it's not, like, it doesn't throw your print off. It still looks very vintage, don't you think? I thought it looked kind of neat, so that is optional, of course. I just thought it looked really vintage muted, I guess would be a good thing to say. Okay, so if you added your bow up here and you add your tag, you can, however you want to add that in there and add it with jute. That is kind of the look you get, and it's really neat. Like, so there's the side and there's the back, and that is that print. So, you like it? All right, so let's put this one back here and work on our frame. Okay, so again, that's what that looks like. Let's check and see how our crackling is doing. So it crackled pretty good. It didn't crackle as much over here. So the heavier you put the crackle on, the bigger your cracks will be. So we need to get our sanding here, our sanding block again. So we're just hitting those edges, and that brings that black out on the edges. And kind of go in on that frame as well. Just these little things kind of help build that vintage look. I'm shaking the whole table. Okay. So now we're going to take, I feel like we're using this a bunch, but it's really fun to use. So we're going to go all around the edges of that frame. So I'm just going a little bit inside and across this bottom. And then the nice thing with this, it makes it really look vintage and kind of pulls it all together. But you can also, if you have any places, I don't think I do, but if you do, you know, like if you feel like something's too heavy or came out too far, you can take a little bit of a baby wipe and rub on it, and you can kind of just rub it right back off very easily. So I like that. Okay, so we'll spatter this real quick. So, spattering like glitter. It can just really make something look really pulled together. Like, it, I don't know, it can just really change the look of something. So you want to add enough water for it to flow good, but you don't want it to be so soupy that your spattering just kind of fades out. So I'm doing this before I put the print in because I don't want to get spatter on my print. Now, of course, if you don't like the spatter, you don't have to do that. I'm not going to do the front of mine, but I am going to do the back and the sides. So I think that always makes it look better. All right, so there is our sides of that. Okay, so now we can set that aside and it is ready to go. So inside your frame, when you take it apart, it has this little cardboard piece, and that's what we're going to use to adhere our bunny to. So we're just going to use that. Let me clean my hands and make sure I don't have anything I'm going to transfer to my print. So this is really easy to do. Super easy. Let me stick these in a baby wipe. So we're just going to kind of measure it around that print and cut it out. Trying to get some of this excess mess cleaned up. Okay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it. Now, I will tell you this. If you have a piece of scrapbook paper or something you want to use, you don't have to do this. I just like the back to look okay. So I just used this piece of scrapbook paper and I traced around it and added that to the back side of it, just because I didn't want like the wording showing. So if you would like to do that, I think it really doesn't take much time to do it, so I think it's a good idea. It's just on whether you want to do that or not. So I just laid it down and just laid it on the opposite side and just traced right around it. You could also just make it really easy and probably just glue it on there and then just cut around it. But that's what I did for the back of it. I just didn't want those words to show, and I didn't want to use the words on the front because, like, to put the canvas side to the front, because I didn't think it would, but I didn't know for sure, and I didn't want it to show through. So I just chose to do this, and I just had I had scrapbook paper just laying here. Actually, it was in some stuff of my mom's. She was working on some scrapbooking stuff, and I brought it home with me after she'd passed away, and I just grabbed it out of there and thought, well, that'll work. So that just, as easy as that, covers that back side. I don't think I got that adhered down very good, though. Okay, so there's our paper. So on the front side, we're going to kind of figure out, so I just kind of took right up the middle. It kind of comes to this part of his ear. So kind of like right here is the middle. So I just tried to find the center, because it doesn't have to be perfect, but like that's the center. I just kind of slid it up to where I thought the center was going to be and come up a little above his ears, because you lose some around the frame, and not all the carrots are going to be in there, and that's fine. And then I just drew around it, and then we'll cut it out. So easy peasy. I'll put some glasses on. Hang with me, we're almost done. We'll just have to add this to the frame, and I want to show you how I did the tag. I thought it was so cute. So of course this doesn't have to be super perfect, because you have that little rim inside, so that gives you a little bit of leeway. And if it's off just a little bit center wide, no one's really going to know that, so don't fret over it. So once you get that done, then we're just going to apply that print to it. So you can just go and just start in the middle and work my way out the corners, and then just lay it down. Like I said, it doesn't have to be super precise because you've got those edges inside your frame. Then just take your a little smoother and make sure you get it all smoothed out. And just like that, the print's ready. Now on this one, we don't have to do anything around the edges because our frame takes care of that. So here's our frame. So that's where the thing goes in the bottom. So we just pop this in there and then bend your thingy-majiggies over. And then your little stand goes in the hole, and then it just stands right up for you. It's pretty nifty. Okay, so then you can add a bow up here, like I said before. You could add it down here. You can add it in the middle. You know, you can do whatever. But this was what I chose to do on mine. I thought this was really cute. So I took, let me grab them because I put them in here so they wouldn't roll away. So I painted some beads black. I think those are the ones I painted. I painted them black, and we're going to put them on the end of a paintbrush here. And this is one of those rib beads that I love from Hobby Lobby, those beehive rib beads. So with that, we will get into the oyster beige, and we're going to take one of our dry brushes. How's this when you pull a paintbrush out? I'm telling you, it's like a circus over here. Okay, we're going to take this one brush and dip it in the oyster beige. And I'm going to take this and just go over the ribs, and it just picks up the ribs on that. So it looks so neat. You've seen me use those before. They are just great to use with stuff. So you're just kind of dragging that down and letting those ribs, the ribs on the bead, pick that up. So that's what your end result is. Now we're going to stick these beads. I painted black, and then I put the crackle on them. I just brushed the crackle medium around them and let them dry. So I did that earlier today. So now we're going to get some paint and kind of rub some paint on them, and we're going to watch them crackle. So here we go. So I'm just taking it right around. There. I hope it crackles. I hope I didn't paint them. I don't know if it hurts it to set because I did it earlier today. No, it's crackling. But anyway, that's what we're doing with those. So we can plunk that in the water, and you can see the crackles starting. It's cool. Yep, it's crackling. So I'll show you the finished one. So this is how I finished it. So you can see the crackle, like that's all dry, and that's done. You can see the crackle in there, and then how the ribbed bead picks up that. And I just thought it looked perfect with the look of our frame. And then I did the same thing to that tag, how I colorized it to go just to match that. Okay, so then this was my idea. So this is our, well, I need to let those dry. So we can put those together and make a tag. I don't even actually know where that tag is. That is not it. That's the tag from earlier. So I thought, I don't know whether to add, this is where I need help. I don't know whether to add the tag or the bow down here. I don't know if it looks better down here or up here. But I drilled a hole right here with a small drill bit. So I took my beading tool and I threaded my beads on and pulled it on through the tag. And like I just took it, I took the jute, pulled it through, and then I added the beads. So that beading tool is really helpful for that. And then I drilled a hole up here. So I want to add this little bead thing to hang up here. If you don't want to, you don't have to do that. You can just add it in with your bow, but I thought this would be fun to do. Let me do it right here. So I'm going to put that through and then stick my jute in there and pull it through. So that just gives me this little tag up here. Oops. So I thought I would tie it. I can tie it behind with just a knot, or I can add like a little bow. So I don't know which I think will look better. We'll see. But I thought it was really cute. So let me trim this. Okay, so that is the little tag that hangs to the side. So then I didn't know whether to use the bow here or here. That probably looks more balanced, doesn't it? That is what I decided to do. So I'll put it right down here. Add the bow. Make sure it can sit right on the table there. What do you think? Do you like it? And you can adjust that there a little bit. So you can do it, like I said, in the frame, or you could do the block version. So either one of those will work. But I really thought that tag was really fun. I thought that was pretty neat. So, but yeah, I was really tickled with that. I love the beads, and I'll show you where I got the idea from. I was over there on I have a shelf over here. These have already been knocked down and taken out. But I was over here on my shelf, and I had this from the fall. And it came from Hobby Lobby, but it was thrown on the shelf, and this was hanging off of it. And that's where I got the idea. I thought, oh, I like how that hangs off. And I'm like, I wonder if I could add that to that picture frame. So that's where the idea came from. So for the bow, I just used mixed and matched material. So I didn't have that ready because I wasn't planning to do it. But I just have different material that I brought down from the house. I just tried to pick stuff that was in the colors that I'm doing. And this is the tea-dyed cheesecloth. I love to use cheesecloth and stuff. So that's what that is. Let me see what else is in this bag. I love to throw a little raffia in there. So I have that. I'm trying to see what else I use. Oh, that burlap ribbon, which I don't know. I don't know if I have any of that out right now. I see it on the back of my door, but I'd have to climb over there and get it. But so basically that all I did was just some strips of this material. So this is almost like a linen type. It's almost like a linen type, but I'm going to cut that in half just so they're smaller. And then this is just like a flat quarter that was in some flat quarter stuff. I think it actually went with a kit to a sweatshirt from a long time ago, but it's a good neutral homespun, so I like it. So again, I'm going to cut those in half. But you can mix and match all kinds of stuff in there. this is our cheesecloth, and you can just cut some rough pieces of it and add it. And this is just some lace. It's just called lace trim. You can throw some of that in. So you can just do whatever you want. But let's cut a little strip of that. I need to order some homespun from Jubilee. I haven't ordered any in a while. Actually, I probably don't need to. I just want to. I should say it like that. So, okay, let me move this so I can see what I'm doing here. So I just cut a piece of jute. This will do. So can you see? Am I out far enough? So it's just the same thing, the crisscrossy thing. So you can put like your boldest or your widest. I really need a wide back there, and I don't have any of the it's over there. I mean, I can see it from where I'm sitting. I just don't want to have to climb over everything to exit to get it. Let me look down here, make sure I don't have anything laying around. I don't think I do. Bummer. Okay, we'll just go with it. Go with it and see what we got. So I'm just going to kind of crisscross some stuff, and this will stay kind of in the middle so I can squinch it up. Squinch it. Is that a word? Squinch it up. Oops. These are longer. I probably should have put those on the back side. So just crossing. I'm just making, I always think of it as a, what is that, railroad crossing? I always think of that sign, just like crossing them over. I'm going to put that, I only have one of those, so I'm just going to kind of randomly pretend like there's two. And then put this. Oh, you know what I forgot to do again is dunk them. So I'll just do them while they're already crossed. I have to make me some new solution. I was working on this today and I'm almost out. So this is just that glue water, but it really gives them a nice little, it stiffens them a little bit, but not like to where they're crunchy. But it makes them kind of have a nice little crinkle to them. Maybe that's a good way to say it. So you can tell I'm not very prepared in my bow there. I should have had this ready. I just didn't figure I would do it. Okay. Here we go. Again. But these homespun pieces will really crinkle nicely. What I hate is the strings. Okay, so we're just kind of keep doing that. We're almost there. You can even dunk these, but I didn't, but you can. But I do love the look of I'm just throwing that one in there, it's random. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit of raffia, because why not? It looks so good. So I'm just kind of lay that across. Some goodness. And now we're going to get the sisal. So the sisal is just a big old bag like this, so this will last you a long time. You just pull some out of there. And then I just kind of wrap, like wrap this side and then fold this side into that. That's how I do it. And that might be a little much for that, so we might want to whittle that down. So I'll do that again. I'm just folding the ends into the middle and then folding that end into the middle again. And then you can trim it up. I mean, you want it kind of wispy, but not that wispy. Okay, so then I'm just going to lay that right in the middle, and then take my jute, make sure I'm in the middle here, and we're just going to pull that up and tie a bow, and we'll tie our jute together, and then you can make a bow in the middle. And then I got these flowers at Michael's when I got the frames. I'll show them to you. That's a piece of green sisal in there. I think we'll whack that out of there. Okay, so then you can kind of maneuver it however you want. And if you have something that's short or longer, you can pull it. And then you can trim it up to however you want. But you can kind of spread that out. So then I got, any of the paper flowers will work, but I got these at Michael's. And there's 36 of them in there, but I got them 30% off too. So they have like neat little beads or buttons in the middle. So they're kind of neat. So I just will pull that one out. So again, I feel like I've said this 100 times tonight, but true, it's true. I just took, let's separate those. I just took the gathered twig again and just went right around those edges. And if you want to hit it on the back, just in case some of it shows, you can. But I did that, and then I did the same thing on the edge again. I'm going to take a little bit of black, and I'm going to barely tip those edges. Just like we did on the tag and on the, well, I guess we did on the tag, and then we did it on the print on the other one. So I'm just lightly hitting that just to make it look, you know, like it just blends with everything. And then just take it right over the top of your button, and it'll just pick up the raised part on your button. So that's what it ends up looking like. And then you can just hot glue it right in the middle. Just put a little dot right there, and then add your flower. And then again, these are damp, so you can keep maneuvering those however you want them, but that's how it turns out. So on the one we did not put we can use it for this one. You can add it there, or you know, you could add it up here on top of this bunny. So that is how you do the bow. So we covered a lot tonight in an hour and 15 minutes. So anyway, I do have a link for the sisal. It is on your project sheet. So where it says right here, it says right here, it says assorted fabrics, ribbon, raffia, and sisal, and it's underlined. Anything underlined is clickable. So just click on it and it'll take you right to it. So it's on that sheet when you pull it up on Linktree. It's right there. So, yep, most of everything is bolded and underlined that's clickable, but that sisal's right there. So that is the block, and then we have this for the frame. So there it is. All right, I'll see you, and thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great weekend. I can't believe that we are flying through March already. It seemed like it just started, and we're already good ways into it, but I will see you. Good night.